I stare at the glowing screen of my phone, heart pounding. Rebecca's name flashes with an incoming call. It's nearly 10 p.m. on a Thursday, and we haven't spoken directly in weeks, not since I filed for divorce. A spike of worry shoots through me. Why is she calling now? My thumb hesitates, then I answer. Hello? Rebecca? I keep my voice level. Through the speaker, I hear ragged sobs. Rebecca is crying, her words coming out in a panicked jumble. It's Jeremy. He's gone. I can't find him. Please, I need you. My blood runs cold. Jeremy is our 6-year-old son. What? What do you mean gone? I bark, already leaping to my feet and grabbing my car keys. My mind swirls with images of my little boy lost or hurt. He ran out. I think he went toward the park. I'm looking everywhere. She chokes on a sob. I'm coming, I say, already halfway out the door. The drive to Rebecca's neighborhood is a blur of streetlights and frantic thoughts. Why would Jeremy run off into the night? He's usually so timid. Fear tightens around my chest. Was there an accident? Did they have a fight? A dozen worst-case scenarios flood my imagination. I screech to a halt by the small park near Rebecca's house. It's deserted at this late hour, the playground cast in moonlit shadows. I scan the area and spot a lone figure on a bench under the oak tree, Rebecca, with her face in her hands. No sign of our son. I scramble out of the car. Rebecca, I shout, rushing over. Where is he? Did you call the police? Rebecca lifts her head. To my confusion, her eyes aren't wild with panic like I expected. They're red, yes, but behind the tears I catch a glint that isn't pure despair. When she speaks, her voice trembles with emotion. Thank God you're here, Nathan. Nathan. Hearing my name from her lips twists something in my gut. I loved this woman once, with everything I had. Now I remind myself I'm here for my son. Where's Jeremy? I demand. Her hands flutter to her mouth. I'm sorry, he's at home. He's fine, she whispers. I feel as if I've been punched. What? You said he was missing. She reaches out to touch my arm. I yank back as if burned. I'm sorry, she repeats. I didn't know how else to get you to come. You've been avoiding my calls, and I needed to see you, to talk face to face. Her tone is pleading, eyes shining with tears in the dim light. I take a step back, adrenaline morphing into fury. You lied about our son being missing? My voice is low and cold. Inside, my heart is still thundering from terror, and now the relief that Jeremy is safe collides with hot anger. Do you have any idea? I bite back the rest, breathing hard. Rebecca stands, reaching for me again. Please, Nathan, I know it was wrong. I was desperate. You won't answer my calls and the divorce papers. It's all happening so fast. I just wanted a chance to talk, to apologize, to fix this. She tries to move closer, but I hold up a hand, stopping her. My mind is reeling. Just wanted to talk? Fix this. After what she did. The memories stab at me, months of suspicion, then the awful night I confirmed her betrayal. Rebecca, my wife of 12 years in the arms of another man. All the lies that followed. The shattered trust, the pain. I swallow hard, forcing the hurt down. I won't break down in front of her. Not again. I steady myself and glare at her, keeping my voice controlled. You think this is the way to fix things? To scare me half to death about our son? Do you realize I almost called the police? I'm sorry, she says again, brushing at tears on her cheeks. I wasn't thinking straight. I'm falling apart, Nate. Losing you, losing our family. It's tearing me up inside. She steps closer, her lower lip trembling. I know I hurt you. I regret it every second. If I could take it back, I would. Just give me a chance. We can go to counseling, or start over. For the kids, please. Her voice cracks on that last word. There it is, for the kids. Using our children like emotional hostages. I grit my teeth. I look away for a moment, trying to rein in the swirl of emotions. The night breeze rustles the oak leaves above, the only sound in the tense silence. Finally, I turn back to her. Rebecca, you should know by now. There's no going back. She opens her mouth to protest, but I press on, my tone firm. I didn't file for divorce on a whim. You made your choices. My voice tightens despite my resolve. When you decided to sleep with someone else, repeatedly, and lied to my face about it. You blew up our marriage, not me. And this, I gesture around the empty park, this twisted stunt, lying about our son being missing, that's beyond the pale. She crumples onto the bench again, sobbing softly. I was scared, she whispers. I still love you. I can't imagine my life without you, without the kids, all of us together. Once, her words would have sliced right through me, crumbling my resolve. But now I feel a strange calm descend. I have been through hell these last few months, cried enough tears behind closed doors to fill an ocean. I'm done with tears, done with her games. I'm going home, I say quietly. I turn and start to walk away. Behind me, Rebecca's voice rises, shrill now with panic. Don't do this, Nathan. We can still fix it. Think of Jeremy and Alyssa. They need both of us. I stop in my tracks at the mention of our daughter. My fists clench. I pivot slowly. Did you think of Jeremy and Alyssa when you snuck around with your lover? I ask, voice soft, but laced with steel. Did you think of them when you dragged us all into this nightmare? Because I am thinking of them. They deserve at least one parent they can trust. Rebecca's face is ashen under the faint streetlight glow. She opens her mouth, but no words come out. For a long moment, we stare at each other across a gulf that can't be bridged. Finally, I break the silence. If you truly care about the kids, don't ever lie about them again. And don't use them to get to me. I turn on my heel. Good night, Rebecca. This time she doesn't call after me as I stride back to my car. My hands are shaking when I get in, slamming the door. I sit there for a second, breathing hard, trying to calm down. Anger, relief, disgust, all churn inside me. Jeremy and Alyssa, my sweet kids. They're safe, I reassure myself. She said Jeremy is at home, probably sleeping. But I decide I need to see them with my own eyes. I pull out my phone and dial my sister Claire. She's at my house watching the kids tonight on my custody evening. She picks up on the second ring. Nate, everything okay? I let out a breath, hearing the concern in her voice. Yeah, I just got a scare. Rebecca called saying Jeremy was missing, but it turned out to be a... I swallow the word lie, not wanting to upset my sister. He's fine. He was never missing. What? Claire's tone goes icy. She knows enough of what's been happening, and she's fiercely protective. She said he was missing. Why would she... She wanted me to come talk to her, I say, exhaustion creeping into my voice. Look, I'm heading home now. The kids are fast asleep, Claire says gently. They had their bedtime story and zonked out. Don't worry, they're fine. I close my eyes, relief washing through me. Thanks, I'll be there soon. Drive safe, she replies. There's a pause, then, Nate, don't let her pull you back in with these antics. You're doing the right thing. I nod even though she can't see it. I know. See you in a bit. On the drive home, I finally feel the tremors in my hands subside. Claire is right. Rebecca's tricks are only going to get more desperate. I tighten my grip on the wheel. If Rebecca wants a fight, I'll give her one. But on my terms. The next morning, I wake to the sound of small feet padding into my bedroom. Sunlight is peeking through the blinds. I blink my eyes open to see Alyssa, our 10-year-old, standing hesitantly by the door. Her brown hair is messy from sleep and she's clutching her stuffed rabbit. Daddy, Aunt Claire said you got home really late. Are you okay? She asks in a small voice. I sit up and manage a smile. I'm okay, sweetheart. I notice Claire must have gotten the kids ready for school already. Alyssa's in her uniform, and I hear Jeremy banging around in the kitchen, probably finishing cereal. Alyssa comes over and climbs onto the bed. She looks at me with serious eyes. Did something happen? Is it because of Mom? My stomach tightens. I promise myself to never badmouth Rebecca in front of them, but I also refuse to lie. Your mom, she was upset last night and wanted to talk to me. There was a misunderstanding, but everything's fine now. Alyssa fiddles with the ear of her stuffed rabbit, absorbing that. Are you and Mom going to be okay? Her voice is almost a whisper. I hug her gently. She's been forced to grow up too fast these past months. Your mom and I... We won't be living together again, I say softly. I'm sorry, but you and Jeremy are going to be okay. We both love you so much. That will never change. Her arms tighten around me. I love you, Daddy, she says, her face buried against my chest. My throat constricts. I hold her a moment longer, allowing myself a single deep breath of this quiet comfort. I love you too, honey, always. Claire appears at the doorway, car keys in hand, and Jeremy hopping along behind her, backpack on. My little boy's face lights up when he sees me awake. Daddy! He bounds onto the bed as well, colliding into us. I grunt and laugh, ruffling his hair. Hey, buddy. You being good for Aunt Claire? He was, Claire says with a warm smile. We were just about to head out. I can drop them at school if you want a few more minutes. No, I've got it. I swing my legs out of bed, setting Alyssa down and hoisting Jeremy up in one arm. Whatever exhaustion lingered from last night evaporates with my kids around me. I'll take them. You've helped enough, Claire. You sure? She asks. Yes, and thank you. I meet my sister's eyes, conveying more than just gratitude for the babysitting. She's been my rock through all of this. Claire nods, understanding. All right. Call me if you need anything, she says, giving my shoulder a squeeze as she passes by. Bye, Munchkins. Bye, Jeremy chirps, as Alyssa and I herd him toward the door. After dropping the kids at school with extra hugs and assurances, I drive to work. I'm a manager at a software company, and thankfully, my boss has been understanding about the turbulence in my personal life. Still, I need to stay focused. There's a big client presentation today. I arrive at the office, step out of the elevator, and nearly bump straight into my friend David in the lobby. David and I have worked together for years, and he's one of the few who knows the full extent of what's happening with Rebecca. Whoa, someone's in a rush, David chuckles. Then he sees my face. Everything all right, Nate? I force a tight smile. Rough night. Rebecca pulled a stunt. He falls into step with me down the hallway. What happened? We step aside as a group of coworkers passes and I lower my voice. She lied that Jeremy was missing to get me to come talk to her. David's eyes widen in disbelief. Missing? That's insane. Yeah. I rub a hand over my face. I still feel a flash of anger recalling it. She's getting desperate. Tried to beg for another chance, I shut it down. He gives a low whistle. Man, that's low even for her. I glance at him. He's only met Rebecca a handful of times at office events, but he's seen the toll this has taken on me. I just can't believe she'd use our kid like that. I mean, who does that? David shakes his head sympathetically. Someone who realizes they're losing, that's who. She knows you're serious about the divorce now, probably freaking out. We reach the door to my department. I pause, hand on the knob. She said it was for the kids, trying to guilt me into reconciling. I'm worried what she'll try next. David pats my shoulder. Whatever it is, you'll handle it. And if you need me, I've got your back. A pang of gratitude warms me. Thanks, man. Actually, could you do me a favor? Sure, name it. If Rebecca calls the office or tries to drop by, can you just run interference? I don't want a scene here. You got it. He nods firmly. Hang in there, Nate. And good luck on that presentation. With a grateful nod, I head into my office to bury myself in work for a few hours. The rest of the morning passes in a blur of meetings and reports. For a while, I managed to compartmentalize, focus on software specs instead of personal drama. The presentation to the client goes smoothly, which is one thing off my plate. By lunchtime, my phone buzzes with a text from my lawyer, Hannah Klein. Judge set a hearing date for custody motion 2 weeks from today. I knew it was coming, but seeing it confirmed twists my stomach. So Rebecca is actually going through with trying to get full custody. The motion likely accuses me of being an unfit parent, her latest strategy to get leverage. I head to the small break room, phone in hand, and quickly dial Hannah. She answers almost immediately. Nate, did you see the date? Yeah, I sigh. What exactly did she file? On what grounds is she trying to take my kids from me? I can't keep the bitterness from seeping into my voice. There's a rustle of papers on her end. Her petition claims you are an unfit father. Specifically, it alleges neglect and erratic behavior that could endanger the children. Neglect? Erratic behavior? My voice rises in disbelief. On what basis? She's claiming you've been acting unstable since discovering her affair, Hannah says carefully. That you've had outbursts in front of the children and that you're too emotionally volatile right now to provide a stable home. I almost choke on anger. Unstable? Volatile? The irony is bitter. I've bent over backwards to shield the kids from the worst of this nightmare, while she's the one pulling stunts like last night. She's painting herself as the more responsible parent, Hannah continues, also alleging you have work commitments that keep you away too much. My fist tightens around the phone. That's ridiculous. I have flexible hours. I've never neglected my kids. I know. We'll demonstrate that, Hannah says calmly. She appended a couple of examples in her affidavit. One claims you left the kids alone at the park last month. What? I blurt out. Then I recall the day she must be twisting. I took the kids to the park and let them play on the jungle gym while I sat on a bench a short distance away. That's normal parenting, not abandonment. I explained this to Hannah. She also claims you had a breakdown in front of Jeremy and scared him, Hannah adds. My mind races. The only thing I can think of is the night I found out about her affair. I did punch a hole in the drywall after the kids were asleep, and I raised my voice during the initial fight. But the kids weren't witnesses to the worst of it. Unless, my chest tightens, did they hear more than I thought? I never had a breakdown in front of the kids, I say through clenched teeth. Not unless she's counting me shouting at her when I caught her cheating. The kids were in their rooms. They might have heard some yelling. Even so, one argument doesn't make you unfit, Hannah assures. Judges have seen far worse. And we can bring up how she introduced a strange man into the children's lives? No, I interject. As much as I despise what Rebecca did, I don't want to drag her affair partner or any tawdry details into court, for my kids' sake. Let's not go that route unless absolutely necessary. I don't want the kids to have to hear any of that or be questioned about it. Understood, Hannah says. I appreciate that she gets it. My fight is to protect my children, not to smear their mother unnecessarily. We'll focus on disproving her claims and highlighting your role as a loving, responsible father. I'll need you to gather some things. Evidence of your involvement in their daily routine, maybe statements from teachers or neighbors who can attest you're a good dad. All right, I'll start on that. My head is spinning with the new battle laid out before me. And Nate, Hannah adds, her tone gentle. Be prepared. These hearings can get nasty. She might have witnesses or testimony lined up. Sometimes people say things under oath that surprise us. I exhale slowly, leaning against the counter. I wouldn't put anything past her at this point. We hang up after going over a few more details. I remain in the break room for a minute, trying to tame the anger and anxiety roiling inside. She is really going to try to paint me as the bad guy. Me, the one who's been holding our family together all this time. It's infuriating. But I know losing my temper will only play into her narrative. Instead of punching the vending machine, I take a deep breath and step outside for some air before getting back to work. As I head out, I bump into David again, coming down the hallway. He notices the look on my face. What's wrong? I debate internally for a second. Hannah advised not discussing legal strategy too widely. But David is my friend. I doubt Rebecca would involve him. And I really need to vent for a minute. Rebecca's filed for sole custody, I say quietly. His eyebrows shoot up. Are you serious? On what grounds? Bunch of lies, I mutter, that I'm unstable, neglectful. She's pulling out all the stops. David breathes out slowly. I'm sorry, man. I knew she was desperate, but this is a whole new level. Yeah. I run a hand through my hair. It's going to be war, I guess. She's even claiming I left the kids alone in a park, twisting some moment where I was actually right there watching them. She'll try to make you look like a bad father. Classic, he says, shaking his head. Well, she's underestimated how far I'll go to protect my kids. My voice hardens. I'm not going to just roll over. My lawyer's on it. Good. David looks at me earnestly. If there's anything I can do to help, just say the word. Character statement, whatever. I manage a small smile. Thanks, David. I might actually ask you to write something about how I balance work and family, since we work together. Absolutely, I can do that. He gives my arm a supportive clap. You're a great dad, Nate. Everyone who knows you can see that. No judge is going to buy her lies. His words bolster me. I nod. I should get back to it. Talk later. As I return to my desk, I feel a renewed determination. Let Rebecca throw her worst at me. I'll be ready. 2 weeks later, I find myself sitting at a polished wooden table in family court, palms pressed together tightly. The courtroom is small, with sunlight filtering through high windows, illuminating motes of dust in the air. My lawyer, Hannah, sits at my side going over her notes. Across the aisle, Rebecca is with her attorney, a sharp-faced woman in a navy suit. I glance over briefly. Rebecca looks paler than usual, and she's avoiding my gaze. Good. A part of me still can't believe it's come to this, fighting like enemies in front of a judge. But any lingering sentimentality I might have had evaporated when I read her affidavit. She's trying to take my children away by painting me as a monster. That's not something I'll soon forgive. All rise, the bailiff calls. The judge enters, a middle-aged man with kind but tired eyes, and we are sworn in and take our seats again. The proceedings begin. Rebecca's lawyer starts by elaborating on the claims in her petition. I listen, jaw clenched, as she portrays me as an overworked father with anger issues. According to her, I've been erratic, yelling at Rebecca in front of the kids and neglecting them due to my job. It takes all my self-control not to interject with corrections, but I know my time to speak will come. Rebecca herself hasn't spoken yet. She sits, eyes downcast, playing the part of the concerned, sorrowful mother. Then the lawyer calls her first witness. The petitioner calls David Colson. I jerk in my seat. David? My friend David from work? I shoot a confused look toward the courtroom door, and sure enough, David steps up to be sworn in. I feel like I've been doused in ice water. He walks to the witness stand, avoiding looking at me. My mind races. Why would he be here? We didn't list him as a witness. That means he's hers. I stare at him, heart thudding. David glances briefly my way. There's an apology in his eyes that quickly flickers into something hard. He looks nervous but determined. What the hell? I breathe under my breath. Hannah touches my arm in warning to stay calm. Rebecca's lawyer begins questioning. Mr. Colson, how do you know the respondent, Nathan Thompson? David clears his throat. We work together. We've been friends for about 5 years. And are you familiar with his children and his relationship with them? He nods. I've spent time with Nathan and his kids on a number of occasions, yes. The lawyer paces slowly. In your observation, how has Mr. Thompson been handling things since learning about his wife's infidelity and the separation? David glances at me again, then fixes his eyes on a point in the distance. He's been struggling, he says, sounding hesitant. I've seen him at work. He's distracted, stressed. He's had outbursts of anger. My nails dig into my palms beneath the table. Each word feels like a knife twisting. Outbursts of anger. I vented to him in private, sure, but never at work beyond maybe snapping at a bad line of code. We had a beer, and I might have punched a bag at the gym once, which he witnessed. That's what he's talking about? The lawyer presses, have you ever witnessed Mr. Thompson exhibit anger in front of his children or behave irresponsibly with them? There's a heavy pause. David swallows. One time, we were at a picnic with his family. I recall he and Rebecca got in a heated argument. The kids were nearby and got upset. Nathan was yelling, and he stormed off for a bit, leaving the kids crying. I feel like I might explode. I know exactly what he's describing. It was a 4th of July barbecue last year. Rebecca and I argued because I suspected she was texting her lover even then. I did walk away to cool down, but I came back in a few minutes and comforted my kids. David wasn't even around us most of that day. How dare he spin it like I abandoned them? My attorney stands. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and relevance. One argument at a public gathering doesn't indicate parental unfitness. The judge considers. Rebecca's lawyer quickly counters that it speaks to a pattern. The judge allows the testimony but gives a slight frown, as if noting the thinness of it. I grit my teeth as the questioning resumes. David avoids my eyes now. Rebecca's lawyer continues. Mr. Colson, in your opinion, are Mr. Thompson's children more emotionally stable when with their mother, Rebecca? Hannah stands again immediately. Objection, calls for speculation. He's not an expert. Sustained, the judge says. The lawyer nods and shifts approach. Have you observed the children with Rebecca? Once or twice, David admits. They seem fine with her. She's very attentive. And with Nathan? He hesitates. He tries, but he's been very tense. The kids can sense that. I feel sick. I can't listen to more of this twisted half-truth. How could David do this to me? The friend I trusted with my fears, who said he'd have my back, is now stabbing it. Finally, Rebecca's attorney says, "No further questions." Hannah rises, smoothing her skirt. "Mr. Colson," she begins, her tone cool. "You said Nathan stormed off, leaving the kids crying. Did you see how long he was gone?" David shifts. A few minutes." "And did he return to the children?" "Yes." "Did he comfort them?" I I think so, yes." "You think so?" Hannah's eyebrow lifts. "So he didn't actually abandon them, did he?" He stepped away briefly and then came back. "I guess," David concedes softly. "And these outbursts at work, did any of them involve him threatening anyone? Or were they just moments of frustration under stress?" David finally looks at me. I stare back unblinking. He looks away again, voice low. "Just frustration. He never threatened anyone at work, no." "No further questions," Hannah says. David leaves the stand, and as he walks by our table, I can't stop myself. I whisper harshly, "Why?" He pauses for a split second, his face full of regret. Then he hurries past without answering, exiting the courtroom. My hands shake with betrayal and rage. I close my eyes, inhaling slowly. "Focus, Nate. Don't let her win by losing your cool." Rebecca's lawyer calls another witness, someone I don't recognize, possibly a neighbor of hers, to attest what a great mom she is. I barely register the words. Hannah cross-examines them methodically, highlighting that the neighbor has minimal knowledge of me or my home life. Finally, it's our turn. We present my side. I testify about how I adjust my work schedule to be there for the kids, how I attend every soccer game and school event. I emphasize that the kids have stability with me and that I would never harm or neglect them. It feels surreal to have to say these things under oath, as if proving I love my own children. But I do it. We submit evidence. Photos of me coaching Jeremy's Little League team, school records showing I'm listed as primary contact, a letter from Alyssa's teacher praising my involvement. Hannah even brings up a log of times I took off work to care for them when they were sick. Then Hannah calls our surprise witness, my sister Claire. She testifies about how I've been the kids' main support, especially in the turmoil after the separation. She calmly refutes the idea that I'm unstable, describing how even under stress I've been patient with the kids. Her clear, unwavering testimony feels like a balm after David's betrayal. Rebecca's lawyer cross-examines Claire, trying to imply she's biased. Claire simply responds, "I'm biased towards the well-being of my niece and nephew." It's a strong moment. I catch a faint smile from the judge. Next, Hannah calls me back for some follow-up points, mainly to address Rebecca's specific claims. She asks me, "Have you ever left your children unsupervised at a park or anywhere else?" "Never," I say firmly. I explain the park story from my perspective, how I was watching them from a short distance the entire time. "Have you ever had an emotional breakdown in front of your children?" she asks. "No. The worst my kids might have seen is me raising my voice at their mother during an argument, and I regret even that happening once, but I have never, and would never, do anything to scare or endanger my children." As I speak, I see Rebecca shift in her seat, but I keep my eyes on Hannah and the judge. When we're done, Rebecca's lawyer stands to cross-examine me. She tries to needle at the incident of me punching the wall. "You did punch a hole in a wall, correct? That suggests a violent temper, does it not?" "I did punch a wall once, in my own home, after discovering my wife's betrayal," I answer steadily. "It was a horrible moment, but I have never struck a person. I patched the drywall the next day and made sure my kids didn't even see the damage. I've since taken an anger management class voluntarily, not because I'm a danger, but because I wanted to process my emotions in a healthy way. That last part is something Hannah and I decided to include. It's true, I attended a short workshop, and it looks responsible." The opposing lawyer presses on. "So you admit you have anger issues that require management classes?" I admit I was angry for a good reason and took proactive steps to ensure that anger never affected my children, I reply. She changes tactics. "Mr. B. Thompson, is it true you refused to communicate with Mrs. Thompson outside of text and email after filing for divorce?" "I limited direct contact, yes," I say. "Only because every conversation turned into her begging for reconciliation or becoming emotional, like the incident where she lied about our son being missing. Communication through text or our parenting app is more stable for the kids' sake." Rebecca's lawyer's lips tighten. Bringing up that incident clearly didn't help her side. She has no further questions. Finally, Rebecca herself testifies. I brace myself as she speaks tearfully about how much she loves our children. How she's only doing this because she truly believes the kids might be harmed by my instability. She portrays herself as the calmer, more nurturing parent. I have to fight the urge to scoff. It's an actress's performance cherry-picking moments to mislead the judge. But I also see genuine sorrow in her. Maybe sorrow for herself for being in this spot. During Hannah's cross-examination, she strikes hard. Mrs. Thompson, is it true that 2 weeks ago, you called Nathan late at night and told him one of the children was missing? Rebecca blinks, clearly not expecting that to come up. I was upset. I wasn't thinking straight, she stammers. Please answer the question. Did you or did you not tell him Jeremy was missing when in fact that wasn't true? Rebecca flushes. Yes, I did, but it was only because I needed to speak with him urgently about reconciling the marriage, correct? Not about the children's immediate safety, as you claimed. Rebecca's lawyer stands. Objection, relevance. Hannah responds coolly. It speaks to the petitioner's credibility and motives, Your Honor. The judge allows it. Answer the question, Mrs. Thompson. Rebecca's voice is small. I did. I said that. Hannah lets that hang in the air for a moment, then continues. Earlier you described Nathan as having anger issues. Aside from the one argument at the barbecue a year ago and him yelling at you upon discovering your affair, can you cite any other examples? Rebecca hesitates, thrown off. He raised his voice sometimes when the kids misbehaved, but nothing extreme. I'm just saying lately he seems stressed. Hannah nods. No further questions. The judge asks a few clarifying questions, and then the hearing is over. Both attorneys make brief closing statements. Rebecca's side again emphasizes caution and the children's emotional well-being. Thinly veiled code for dad is unstable. My side emphasizes my proven track record as a caring, involved father and notes Rebecca's deceitful tactics as a red flag. And then the judge thanks us and says he will issue a ruling soon. Sometimes they give a decision right away, but not today. The waiting game begins. As we start to exit the courtroom, I feel drained. Hannah gives my arm a reassuring pat. You did great, Nate. We countered her claims well. Now we just have to wait for the judge's decision. Could be a few days. I nod, though the idea of waiting and uncertainty makes me anxious. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate everything. She smiles. Try to relax. The odds are in your favor. We file out into the hallway. I spot Rebecca and her lawyer speaking in low tones by the water fountain. My sister Claire, who sat in the back of the courtroom, gives me a quick hug and steps aside to make a phone call, giving me a moment alone. I take out my phone, considering whether to call home and check on the kids. They're at school right now, oblivious to the battle that just took place over them. Thank God. Nathan, I look up. Rebecca is approaching me slowly. Her lawyer is down the hall now, talking to a clerk, so it's just her. I straighten, instinctively bracing myself. What is it? Her eyes are red-rimmed, makeup smudged at the corners. For once, she doesn't look composed or crafty. She looks wrecked. Can we talk? Just us for a minute? I feel a flash of irritation. I don't think that's a good idea, Rebecca. She wrings her hands, stopping a couple paces away. Please, I need to say this. If the judge rules against me, I might not get another chance. I fold my arms, keeping my face impassive. Fine. Say what you need to say. Rebecca takes a shaky breath. I'm sorry, she begins softly, for all of it. The affair, the lies, dragging you through court, all of it. I know I went too far. Her voice hitches. I was so afraid of losing the kids, of losing everything. I thought if I could make you look bad, I might keep them. It was wrong. I see that now. I say nothing, my expression unreadable. She continues, voice cracking. You were a great husband, and you're a great father. I was the one who messed up. I know I can't undo it, but I want you to know that I do regret it. I miss our life. Not just the kids, I miss you. I miss us having breakfast together, talking about little things, even our stupid fights about the dishwasher. A tear rolls down her cheek. I threw it all away, and I hate myself for that. She wipes at her face, and her voice drops to a whisper. If there's any part of you that ever loved me, I'm begging you, forgive me. Not for us to get back together. I know that's impossible now, but just so I can live with myself. Maybe one day we can at least be on friendly terms. For the kids. I feel a slight tug in my chest, a remnant of the love I once had for the woman I thought she was. But I keep it in check. I think about the nights I couldn't sleep from the pain she caused, the image of David on the stand lying because of her manipulations, the terror she put me through with that phone call. I take a long breath. Rebecca, I say, my voice calm but firm. I did love you. Part of me will always care about the woman you were, the mother of my children, my partner for over a decade. I see a flicker of hope in her tear-filled eyes. I steel myself and continue. But that woman is gone. Or maybe she never was who I thought. Either way, I don't trust you anymore. You lied to me. You lied about me. And you were willing to put our kids through hell just to hurt me. She opens her mouth to respond, but I hold up a hand to stop her. Let me finish. Rebecca closes her mouth, fresh tears spilling. I will always be connected to you because of our children. I hope, for their sake, that you can be a good mother. I hope you get whatever help you need and never pull something like this again. My words are measured, each one hitting hard. But as far as us is concerned, there is no us. We are not friends. We're not anything beyond co-parents. I don't hate you, Rebecca, but I can't forgive you, not now. Maybe not ever. I'll be civil for the kids' sake, but that's it. She's openly weeping now, silently, her shoulders trembling. My words hang between us like a final verdict. I inhale, the weight of this bitter moment settling. I'm done. I'm done with the lies, the manipulation, all of it. I won't let you drag me down again. And I won't let you hurt our children. So yes, I won, Rebecca. I'm walking away with my head high, and you have to live with what you've done. She brings a hand to her mouth, stifling a sob. I feel no triumph, just relief. I've said what I needed to say. Goodbye, Rebecca, I finish quietly. I turn and walk away without another word. This time, she doesn't follow. A week later, I'm sitting in Hannah's law office, feeling the tension in my shoulders finally ease as she hands me a court document. Here it is, she says, smiling. The judge's ruling. Congratulations, Mr. Thompson. Primary custody granted to you as we expected. I scan the first few lines of the ruling. It's all formal language, but the key points stand out. I'll be the primary residential parent. Rebecca gets visitation every other weekend and one midweek dinner. And for now, those visits are to be supervised. The judge clearly took note of her deceptive behavior and the kids' best interests. There's also a note that any attempt to violate the terms could lead to reduced visitation. It's more than I even hoped for, I admit, exhaling. I didn't relish the idea of the kids being without their mother entirely, but knowing the court is wary of her shenanigans is a relief. You fought hard and you did everything right, Hannah says. This outcome is fair. You have stability at home, and she can still see the children, but under conditions that protect them. I nod. Thank you, Hannah. I couldn't have done this without you. She waves a hand. It was a team effort. You had solid evidence and character references. The truth was on your side. She sits on the edge of her desk. How are you feeling about it all? It's been a ride. I think for a moment. How am I feeling? Relieved, I say. Grateful. Sad, too, that it ever came to this. But mostly just glad it's over. I can finally focus on the kids and not on fighting her. She gives a sympathetic smile. Totally understandable. And the divorce itself, assets, finances, that's all straightforward given the prenup and the custody arrangement. We'll file the final divorce decree this week. You'll officially be a free man. A free man. It feels strange, but good. And, what about perjury or anything? I mean, David basically lied on the stand. Hannah purses her lips. Technically, he shaded the truth. It's unlikely the DA would pursue anything, especially since we didn't have to prove perjury to win. Sometimes the best justice is just knowing his testimony didn't make a difference. I nod. David hasn't contacted me, and I have no desire to talk to him again. The hurt is still there, but I'm more disappointed than anything. In the end, his betrayal didn't change the outcome. Well, I won't keep you, Hannah says, extending her hand. Go celebrate with your family. You've earned it. I shake her hand warmly. Take care, Hannah. Walking out of her office into the crisp afternoon air, I feel lighter than I have in a long time. It's truly over. The sun seems to shine a little brighter. The sounds of the city a little more cheerful. I take out my phone and send a quick text to Claire. Judge ruled in my favor. I have primary custody. It's done. She replies almost instantly with a string of celebratory emojis and, so happy. Dinner on me tonight. I chuckle and send back a heart. Next, I text Mark, a coworker who wrote a kind reference letter for the hearing. I won. It's finally over. He responds with, congrats, man. Knew you'd win. Drink soon. I smile. Yes, drink soon. Though I'll make sure to be home for bedtime stories first. Saturday morning. I wake up to the smell of pancakes. For a split second, I think I'm dreaming. Then I remember. The kids are attempting to make breakfast. That usually means a mess, but I'm not about to stop them. I throw on a t-shirt and head to the kitchen. Sure enough, I find 10-year-old Alyssa standing on a stool at the stove, carefully pouring batter, while 6-year-old Jeremy supervises in his dinosaur pajamas, which are covered in flour. They both look up when I enter. Dad, we're making pancakes, Jeremy announces proudly. I can see that, I laugh, eyeing the drips of batter on the counter. Smells great in here. Alyssa flips a pancake, a bit clumsily, but it lands back in the pan. Almost done. We wanted to surprise you. You sure did, I say warmly. This little scene is everything I fought for. My children, happy and secure in our home. A short time later, we sit at the table enjoying slightly misshapen but delicious pancakes drenched in syrup. The morning sun pours in, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like the future looks bright. After breakfast, the kids rush to the living room to watch cartoons. I start cleaning up the kitchen, humming to myself. Halfway through washing the dishes, the doorbell rings. I dry my hands and walk to the door, opening it to find Rebecca on the porch. She's holding a small duffel bag and a familiar stuffed green dinosaur. Hi, she says softly. She looks uncertain, standing there in jeans and a sweatshirt, no makeup, hair in a simple ponytail. It's the most low-key I've seen her in ages. Hi, I reply, keeping my tone neutral. My body instinctively blocks the doorway. It's not her scheduled time. Her first supervised visit with the kids is slated for tomorrow, Sunday. She notices my guarded posture and quickly holds out the stuffed toy. Jeremy left Mr. Dino at my place last weekend. I thought I'd drop it off. And some of Alyssa's clothes that got mixed in with mine. She nods to the duffel bag. I take the dinosaur from her. Thanks. Behind me, I hear the kids' cartoon blaring from the TV, but they haven't noticed her yet. Rebecca hesitates, eyes darting as if trying to peek past me. How are they? The kids? They're okay, I answer. We're just having a lazy Saturday morning. Pancakes and cartoons. She manages a tiny smile. Pancakes. That was always our Saturday tradition. I nod but don't reply, not inviting further conversation. She clears her throat. I'm sorry to just drop by unannounced. I know I'm supposed to see them tomorrow with the supervisor. I wasn't expecting to talk to them now. I just wanted to give you those things. An awkward silence. This is the first time I've seen her since the courthouse hallway. She's keeping her word about trying to change her approach, at least so far. No theatrics, no manipulation visible. Just a mom bringing over her kid's toy. I appreciate that in spite of myself. I step back an inch. Do you want to say a quick hello? They're right in the living room. Her eyes flick up, hopeful. Would that be okay? Just for a minute, I say. I'm still wary, but I won't punish the kids by hiding them away. Hang on! I turn and call into the house, raising my voice above the TV. Guys, someone's here to see you. In a flash, Jeremy comes tearing down the hall, Alyssa close behind. They both nearly collide with me at the door, and then they see who's standing on the porch. Mommy! Jeremy squeals. Hi, my babies, Rebecca says, voice warm and trembling at the same time. Jeremy launches himself at her, and she drops the duffel to crouch and hug him tightly. Alyssa hangs back a little, more reserved. But when Rebecca opens one arm to her, she steps forward and lets herself be embraced. I watch quietly from the doorway. There's a lump in my throat, but it's not from pain this time. It's a bittersweet feeling, seeing the kids reunite with their mom after everything. They love her and she them, despite all she did to me. She is still their mother. After a moment, Rebecca pulls back and holds up the stuffed dinosaur. I brought Mr. Dino. He was missing you, she says to Jeremy. Jeremy giggles and takes the toy. You found him. I sure did, Rebecca smiles, brushing his hair back. She looks up at Alyssa. And I have some of your favorite shirts in that bag. Maybe Daddy can bring it inside later. Alyssa nods. Thanks, Mom. They lapse into silence, not sure what to say next. The kids know things have changed. Alyssa especially can sense the gravity. I decide to wrap it up gently. All right, kiddos. Mom will see you tomorrow, I emphasize, reminding them. And her of the schedule. Why don't you go get dressed so we can go to the park later? The park! Yay! Jeremy shouts, already racing to his room, Mr. Dino in hand. Alyssa gives Rebecca one more quick hug and then follows her brother. Once the children are out of earshot, Rebecca stands up slowly. Thank you, she says quietly, for letting me say hi. I know you didn't have to. I nod, stepping out onto the porch and pulling the front door half closed behind me. I'm doing this for them, not for you. I know, she whispers. She wipes at her eyes. She'd been holding it together for the kids, but now a couple tears slip. I know I have a long way to earn back any trust. I want to do better. For them. And I appreciate you not shutting me out completely. I take a deep breath, looking at the woman I once loved and feeling a strange mix of emotions. They need their mother, I say, but they also need her to be stable, honest, someone they can rely on. Can you be that? She nods rapidly. I'm going to therapy. I'm not drinking anymore either. I stopped cold turkey after court. This is news to me. I didn't even realize alcohol might have been a factor. She continues, I just want to be the mom they deserve. I swear I won't ever use them like I did, or lie like that, never again. I study her face. There's sincerity there and shame. It doesn't excuse what she did, and it doesn't mean I forgive her. But it does make me cautiously optimistic that maybe she can be better for the kids. See that you keep that promise, I say quietly. Time will tell. She bows her head. It will. I'll prove it if it takes the rest of my life. I don't reply to that, but part of me is glad to hear it. Rebecca picks up the duffel bag from where it fell. I should go. I'll see you all tomorrow at the family center at noon. Yeah, we'll be there, I confirm. She steps off the porch, then turns back one last time, her eyes on me. Nathan, I meant what I said before. I am sorry, and thank you for being a good father. They're lucky to have you. I grip the doorframe, absorbing her words. Once, such praise from her would have meant everything to me. Now it's just a sad truth. She had a good man and she threw it away. Still, I respond, thank you. Take care, Rebecca. She offers a faint, sad smile, then walks to her car. I watch until she drives off down the street. I step back inside the house, closing the door firmly. The sound of laughter comes from the kids' room. Jeremy and Alyssa, probably goofing around as they dress. I lean against the door for a moment, letting out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. It strikes me how far we've come. A few months ago, this house was full of tension, secrets, and my own despair. Now it's full of the sounds of childhood and the promise of a fresh start. I push off the door and move down the hall. The battle is over. I won. Not just the legal fight, but the fight to protect my family from a toxic situation. There's no more paranoia, no more walking on eggshells, no more sleepless nights wondering what trick Rebecca might pull next. Instead, there's breakfast messes and cartoons, weekend park trips and bedtime stories. There will still be challenges. Co-parenting isn't easy even under the best circumstances, but I'm ready for them. I have my kids, and we have peace, and that's everything. Dad, we almost ready to go? Alyssa calls from her room. Ready in 5, I call back. I grab the duffel Rebecca left and quickly unpack the clothes, tossing them in the laundry. In the pocket, I notice something. An envelope with my name on it in Rebecca's handwriting. I pause, then open it. Inside is a handwritten note. Nathan, I know actions are the only apology you'll accept, but I still want to say I'm sorry one more time. You're right. I have to live with what I did. I lost the best thing that ever happened to me, but I'll do my best not to fail our children. You'll always be their hero, Rebecca. I stare at the note for a moment, then fold it and put it back in the envelope. I'm not sure what to do with it. Part of me wants to rip it up. Another part wants to keep it as a reminder. For now, I tuck it in a drawer. Maybe one day forgiveness will come. Maybe not. Either way, that's my journey to figure out, not hers. Dad! Jeremy's yell jolts me. Let's go! Chuckling, I shake off the heavy thoughts and grab my keys. The kids sprint to the door as I approach, bouncing with excitement. I scoop up my son and ruffle my daughter's hair as we step out into the warm morning. Whatever lies ahead, I know we'll be okay. I've got what matters most right here with me. My children, my integrity, and a future that, for the first time in a long while, looks bright and wide open. All right, I grin at the two little faces looking up at me. Who's ready for a new adventure? The end. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, so subscribe to my channel and watch the next video.